Hola amigos de TV Agro.
Hello, friends of TV Agro. I am Joseph Ramirez, a canine trainer and educator. I am accompanied by my canine friend named Daga.
La obediencia básica son
Today I want to talk to you about the importance of basic obedience in our dogs and how we can build each of the 5 fundamental commands.
se comporten muy bien en la sociedad.
Basic obedience consists of a series of exercises that allow us to have greater control over the behavior of our dogs in society and in everyday situations.
Las 5 órdenes que componen la
Sit,
obediencia
lie
básica
down,
son
stay, come when called, and don't pull on the leash.
quieto en ambas posiciones, acudir al llamado y por supuesto no hablar de la correa, que es algo con lo que mucha gente pelea con sus perros porque tiran mucho de la correa. Hoy les voy a enseñar cómo construir
Let's start with the
cada
sit
una
command.
de estas órdenes. Primero vamos a empezar enseñándole al perro a sentarse. Para esto,
To teach our dog to sit, we can use some food as an incentive.
primero guiamos a nuestro perro con la comida, llevamos la comida hacia atrás de su cabeza.
We will guide the dog with the food, taking it behind its head, which will encourage it to sit.
¿Ven cómo lo hace Daga? La segunda orden es el echado.
The next command is cast. We will use the luring technique, where we guide the dog with the food so that it lies down.
En este caso con comida, y con ella guiamos al perro para que se eche.
Some dogs may have difficulty with this command, so I will offer 2 specific approaches to teaching them to lie down.
Llevas la comida hacia abajo y el perro ya se echa, pero muchos perros no lo hacen. Entonces yo te voy a enseñar unas 2 formas específicamente.
The first is to teach them from the sitting position, lowering them down and saying good.
Enseñándole desde el sentado. Primero se sienta y después lo llevo hacia abajo. Bien. Muy importante decirle al perro bien antes de entregarle la comida, que es algo.
Before handing them the treat.
La segunda es utilizando apoyo de tu rodilla, de tus piernas.
The second approach involves us using our knees and legs, creating a kind of tunnel underneath us. As we guide the dog through
Y tú lo vas a premiar ahí.
this tunnel, we will tell him good.
La razón por la que le enseñamos al perro a sentarse y a echarse es para que aprenda también a quedarse quieto.
Permanence is essential in basic obedience. Once a dog has learned the sit and down commands well, we can teach them to stay.
Aprenda muy bien cómo son estas 2 órdenes, entonces
Initially, we will ask them to sit down. If the dog is already sitting, we'll say, stay.
le digo, quieta, y le entrego el premio. Bien. Quieta. Bien.
And hand out the treat, making sure to praise with a good. In the beginning stages, we don't back down. We just teach the dog that staying in one position is the way to get the food.
Y quedarse quieto es la forma de conseguir la comida. Quieta. Bien. Uy, se me cayó. Eso, Daga. Quieta. Bien. Una vez el perro domine esta fase en la que se queda quieto,
As the dog advances, we can take a step back and repeat the stay and good command.
quieta, pero yo moviéndome un pasito hacia atrás. Primero me muevo un pasito hacia atrás. Quieta.
And then reward them again.
Ella tiene otro comando para el quieta, te lo voy a mostrar. Muévase.
It is important to progress gradually, making sure the dog masters each step before moving on to the next.
Bien. Ya. Muy bien, gorda.
But we have to teach all this to the dog in steps. It's not that in one day I will teach the dog to stay still. I will go 500 meters away, and when I return, the dog will be there. No, it doesn't work that way. First, you have to teach it to learn the position. Then you take a step and reward him. Then you take 2 steps. He stays still and you reward him again, and so on. Make sure the dog dominates one step well before going to the next.
Otra de las órdenes es que acudo al llamado. En este caso, entonces me voy a ir hacia allá.
Another important order is to follow the call.
Muévase. Y al principio voy a dar más o menos unos 10 pasos. Si tu perro no sabe quedarse quieto,
To teach the dog to come when we call it, we can start by taking a few steps back and calling them. If the dog still can't sit still, we can ask someone to hold him while we call them, and then let them go once they arrive to us.
varias veces. Es un ejercicio que los perros aprenden más rápido porque
After the dog responds to the call, we give them the treat and say, "Good." This exercise should be repeated several times, as dogs tend to respond quickly to their owner's calls.
de enseñarle al perro a no alar de la correa. Para eso vamos a utilizar esta correa.
Finally, we are going to talk about how to teach the dog not to pull on the leash. We will use a leash and reward the dog with food.
Ella va a estar atenta como lo está Daga. Y empiezas a caminar. Vamos, Daga. Si el perro camina bien contigo,
We will start walking and we will reward the dog when he walks correctly next to us and stops when we stop.
ahí puedes empezar a asociar la palabra. Bien. Eso. Otra forma en la que puedes hacerlo es utilizando el luring también. Pones la comida en ella.
Another option is to use the luring technique by putting the food in his mouth and walking with him, stopping to deliver the treat.
Te detienes, sigues caminando otra vez, das una pequeña vueltecita, te detienes y entregas el premio. Al principio te recomiendo que solo lo practiques en líneas rectas.
At first, it is advisable to practice in straight lines, and once the dog has mastered the exercise, we can work in circles or squares.
En círculo o en cuadrado. Con el tiempo, no solo el perro dominará bien el ejercicio, sino que
It is important not only that the dog masters the exercise, but also that we know how to guide it during these exercises.
en cuanto a que los perros salen de la correa, pues hay muchas cosas que hablar. Por ejemplo, una de ellas es que si tu perro...
Remember that there are other factors that can influence dogs pulling on the leash. One such factor is if your dog has a lot of energy and you do not take them out for a walk every day. They will want to vent that energy. And the other factor is a lack of physical and mental exercise.
con tu perro, que también le hagas ejercicios mentales.
It is important to carry out physical and mental activities with our dogs, in addition to obedience exercises, to help them channel their energy and get them tired both physically and mentally.
Otra cosa muy importante es que el perro aprenda que no va a llegar a ningún lado si ala de la correa.
Another important aspect is to teach the dog that pulling on the leash will not get them anywhere. For example, if I walk with Daga and she tries to get ahead of me, I pull slightly on the leash and walk back.
Ella se va, entonces yo qué hago, me devuelvo. De esta forma le empiezo a enseñar a ella que alar.
This way, I teach her that barking is not the correct way to reach her goals.
Pero por el contrario, si ella va caminando tranquilamente,
On the contrary, if she walks calmly, she will reach her goal, like the prize. This applies both to get to a specific place and to sniff something or get to the park.
llegar al parque. Y si tú ves a tu perro como un loco intentando llegar al parque y te ala y tú le permites,
If you allow your dog to pull and they still get what they want, you are reinforcing that behavior. It is important to teach them the opposite, that walking calmly is what will lead them to get what they want.
lo opuesto a tu perro. Hay dos preguntas respecto al adiestramiento y la educación básica.
Now I want to address two common questions related to the training and basic education. The first is, at what age can I train my dog?
Los 2 meses de edad ya es viable empezar a enseñarle, por ejemplo,
You can start training them from 2 months of age. You can teach them to sit, lie down, and other basic positions.
Eso no significa que el perro no pueda aprender el resto de su vida.
Don't ask for very advanced things at first, but that doesn't mean a dog can't keep learning throughout their life. Some people ask me if they can train a 5, 7, or even 10-year-old dog because they think it's too late. The answer is always yes. A dog can be trained at any age. Dogs can learn throughout their lives.
Si el perro, por ejemplo, si yo lo entreno, entonces le va a hacer caso a otras personas.
The second question is, if I train the dog, will it listen to other people? The answer depends. It may be yes, or it may not. As I mentioned earlier, it is important that you are involved in training your dog so that they will listen to you. However, if they are only trained by one handler, they are likely to listen only to that one person. For this reason, it is important that once the dog has learned the exercises, they practice them with different members of the family. Children, adults, and grandparents can participate in the training so that the dog learns to obey all the people in the family.
Eso fue todo por hoy. Les doy muchas gracias por...
Thank you very much for listening to me today. You can follow me at Dog Diestra on Instagram and TikTok, where you will find more information and contact details. I thank TV Agro for inviting me.